Okay, so what we're doing is hooking up the back light and the side lights just as running lights temporarily until I get the brake switches put on, because I don't have brake switches yet for the brake lights. So we got to run these, well, I haven't cut that one yet, up to the headlight cable. So when it comes out of the rectifier, it will light them up just as running lights, so you can see me if I'm riding at night. So you can watch me through my struggles now. Let's see if I can set this up in a good way. Let's work right there. Can you see? Can't see. How about like that? Ah, that'll work. So this back one, it's got it's running light, brake light, left and right turn signal. So I have to figure out which wire is which. I mean, ground is obvious. That's the fucking black one. Just go ahead and strip that out. And then, let's see. So I figure red and yellow would be brake. I mean, yellow would be brake and red would be running. Just because, like in a car stereo, like yellow is the main power and red is the ignition. So, let me see. My battery right here. I got, let me see, black and yellow. Black and yellow. Well, that's not what I thought. Okay. Black, and red. I think that's the brake light. What's the running light? Black and green. Ah! What is that? Oh, that's the others. Okay, so it's black and white. Black and white. Yeah, that's definitely, because I'm pretty sure, like, if you hit red, let me pull these apart so we can do this side by side. So I'm pretty sure if you hit red on it, it's gonna light up brighter. Let's see. That's black and white, black and red. Yeah. Okay, black and white. So we've got those. So get rid of the other three. I'm not using them for right now because I don't have the battery installed. Once I get the battery installed, I'm going to run the switches that I have on the handlebars, and then get the turn signals and everything else working. Right now, this is just to be able to see it at night, because I mean, probably a good thing, you know. But yeah, let's see. So this one, is this going to be black and red? Is the light? Black, red. Oh, that's a brake light. I don't need to hook that up. So that's right. That's the thing about this, is it's going to have 3 brake lights, right? And so it also has a turn signal. Ooh. Does the turn signal turn the brake light off? That is cool. I didn't know the turn signal turned the brake light off. Okay. So we're gonna have turn signals on both sides. Like, look at this. So I've got. Well, that was a terrible cut. I barely got the. Come on. Using the wrong side of the scissors. But what I was going to say is I have both sides hooked up. So, you know, I've got this side. The turn signal turns off the brake light. That is awesome. I didn't even know that worked. Okay, so that's what's going to happen eventually is I'm going to get these hooked up to the brake light switches once I get them onto the brake handles, because I still haven't gotten those set up yet. So I'm just going to cut all of that because I don't want that light coming on. So we're just going to tuck those away. And then, so this, my headlight and this light, that one. Yeah. So those will be running right now. That way I can be seen from the front and the back. It's not like you couldn't hear this thing, but the idea is, you know, I don't know what the idea is, because, I mean, honestly, if you couldn't hear this fucking thing, you might not know where the sound's coming from, so it's nice to have lights, right? Eventually I'll get some red running on the over the engine, but that's really not a priority right now. So right now it's gonna be just running literally like a foot of wire, I think. You know what? I'll make it 18. That's probably 20 inches. I'll make it 20 inches just to be safe. And then, because what I have to do, so I don't want to cut into this harness, right? So this harness goes to the headlight, but I don't want to cut into it. So what I have is all of these well, if I picked them up, is all is to go to the output of the regulator. I have a spade terminal connector female, and then to go into the headlight, I have a spade terminal male, and then for the for this backlight, I have a barrel connector, because eventually I'm going to cut it off to run the other electronics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to splice this wire, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to splice two of them. So this one, that's a lot of length, so I think I'm going to take off, what am I thinking, about here. And then I need another one for the black. Positive and negative, right? I should have measured the thing before I can cut it off, shouldn't I? So, well, whatever. We'll do it like this. So, get the same size. And then we'll take this. I need some more. And cut about the same size right there. So there you go. These are going to the headlight. These are going to tail light. So I just need to do a little snippy. Oh, that didn't cut near as deep as I thought it did. There we go. Maybe a little more. So twist. And these two are going to the headlight. So what we're gonna need spade plugs to plug into this female connector. So, I mean, I probably cut just the right amount the first time, but I want to make sure that I have enough, and if I need to, I can just, you know, Lorraine and Bob it. There we go. And stick her in there. Where's my crimpers? And give her a good squeeze. There we go. And same thing with the other side. Just give it a little bobbit treatment, and then stick her right on in there. That was his problem. He couldn't stick it in there because she cut it off. That's a different subject. Okay, there we go. Sometimes I get stuck. So here's my two pigtails for the front. So now I need to make the back. So these are where the length comes in, because these barrel connectors are pretty deep. Haha. Tube. So you just need to make sure you have enough to actually really get where the crimp zone is. Because like back here is not good, but you don't want your insulation, and it's got a block in the middle, so you just stick them in there, you know. Give her a good crimpola. Make sure it don't pull out, and then you're good to go. Same thing with the other side. Go. Make sure it don't pull out. There you go. So these are my back pigtails. So now we join them with the two that are going to go to the actual plug for the headlight. Right? So, a little stripper. Give it a little. Come on. And I mean, it's a lot. You would think using wire strippers, you know, like I have a wire stripper right here, but these scissors are amazing. So I just strip those two, and then strip these two. So this is a little short. Let me give it a little more. And the thing about being short is it's a problem whenever you put wires together, because when they twist, they need the length so that they actually twist all the way together. And you can do braided twist. You can do all kinds of stuff with, you know, your connections. I typically, as long as the crimp is good, you know, I think it's good. So just give them a twist. And then a little snip. Sure it's all together. Shove it in the terminal. Sometimes it's get in there. Okay. And just give her a little crimp. Boop. It ain't going nowhere. Same thing with the other side. And see, when you twist them, they'll come out to a point. And what you don't want is you don't want that point in your terminal. So that's what you're cutting off with this, is you just take your point off, and then you're left with a flat end. And that goes perfectly I said perfectly. Sometimes not perfectly. The point is great. The point is good for guidance, but once you get to a point, haha, once you get to the point in your life where you don't need that point and you just, you know where to put it. I mean, it really, because what will happen is the point will stick out. If you pinch, if you crimp on your wire at the ends of the wire, it will become loose. So what you want is the very end to stick out so that you can see it. But you don't, if you have the point on there, it'll actually go into the connector, and that's a bad thing because then you can't get a good seat on the connector. So what we're going to do is, where is my wire? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's got an obvious red and black on it. So I'm just here to let you see. Come here. Okay, so this is what we're working with. This is the headlight plug. And down here, this is the connector it goes in, right? So you see there's two little terminals, and it's got an obvious red and black on it. So I'm not gonna mess that up. This thing, I hope it has obvious red and black. No, of course not. It's blue and green. So what I have to do is figure out which one's red, which one's black. And to do that, I'm just gonna kind of plug it in. Kind of plug it in with one hand. These clips are a pain. Oh my God. Okay. Well, I don't even have to plug it in. So basically what I can see is it goes like this. And this way, red is on that side. And this way, blue is on that side. So blue is red, green is black. So there you go. And then up here, this one doesn't matter because I already got it figured out. It's white and black anyway. So let me finish up. Oops. Take the wires to do black is black. Stick that right in there. Ooh, I hope these things fit. I might have to actually crush them. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to crush these. Oh, that sucks. Okay, so what's happening is the insulation around the wire isn't fitting, so I actually have to crush the insulation so that they can fit next to each other inside this plug, which means I'm gonna have to do the same thing for the headlight side. So we'll just go ahead and crush those now. Here we go. There, and then we can take this one and plug. That's the plug. There we go. So and then we just take these. Well, I'm gonna run this back down through here so I don't have to unplug it again before I seal this up. But take this. Green is black, red is blue, and you want to make sure you get this right. I promise you, if you get it wrong, you're going to burn up the LED immediately. There's absolutely no reason in doing it. if you're going to do it, like if you do it backwards, you're replacing the headlight, because it's immediately going to send 12 volts the wrong way, and those diodes are just going to shit themselves. So oh my god, it does not want to go on the freaking plug. There you go. Another thing you want to do, very important, so that these don't come apart, there's 2 steps to this. You could use packing tape for all I care. I have this beautiful box of zip ties and fittings and all that stuff, and a lot of electrical tape. So what you want to do is you want to zip tie the connectors together first. That way there's no stress from them pulling on each other. So we're going to take this and we're going to zip tie the 2 connectors together. It sounds easy, but getting your fingers in here is a pain in the ass. Okay. So you don't want to zip tie the wires. Zip tie the connectors. If you zip tie the wires, they will come out immediately. It does absolutely no good. You'll just immediately lose connection. All right. I actually think that's pretty good. Now, you want to tape the connectors together. Let me show you what I mean. Okay. So, here's my connection. So I have my zip tie on my connectors. And then here's my little loop to the headlight, and then here's my pigtail to the tail light. So these being zip tied together, there's not going to be any tension on this wire. It's not going to come unplugged. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap electrical tape around it just to kind of weatherproof it a little bit and make sure that they really don't move, because you can still pull these out on accident, but it's just better to just throw a little electrical tape all the way around it. And I'll be back to show you that. So here, we'll finish the process right now. Okay. So, and you want to do that before you connect the back wires. Because if you don't do it before you connect the back wires, it might unplug what you've already done. So you just want to gently wrap the duct tape or electrical tape around it. Around the connectors, around your seating. And then when you get to the wire part of it, because you want to go downward to the wire when you're wrapping your tape, you want to squeeze your wires together and then tape. And this will do one of 2 things, and you won't know until the end, or unless you were to start it up right now. But what it will do is it's either going to make sure that contact stays in contact the entire time, and you're not 99% of the time going to have a problem with it, or it's going to come apart immediately. And that's where you know your issue is, because you accidentally pulled the wire out while you were taping it. So just be aware of that. It will not come loose if you pull on these wires. That's what we were working on, was we don't want it to come loose when we pull these wires. So we'll run our wires up through here. Not pulling too much. All right, enough to zip tie. Let me get the battery out of the way. All right. Then white to red. So in this case, because these wires are such small gauge, I like to fold them in half when I crimp them. That way it just takes a little bit extra for the crimp to come out. So I like to cut off double what I need and then fold it in half. So just kind of go double where you thought you were going to be, and then take that insulation off and then twist it together. And I'm going to come back and get you so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. So here's the duct tape job, or the electrical tape job. This is what I was talking about. This right here. Oh, you can't see it very well. Before I connect it, this right here, just loosely right up at the top, and then gradually get tighter. And then you're left with a tight little knot at the end that you could probe if you need to, but that's for a later thing. But you then, after you run it up, what I was saying about this little wire is it is very small. I mean, let me see here. Let me see if I can do it. It's very small. The size of this hole, let me see if I can compare it to the wire. It is a very, very small wire. So that's why I like to double it up and do like a little loop kind of thing on the end. That way when the wire pulls out, it's got to pull the entire like top of the wire out too. So that's why I do that whenever the connector is too big, because that'll save your ass in most cases, because sometimes the wire, it'll just find a crevice and it'll fucking slip out. But if you have this little loop here, it kind of seals it all around. So good tip. Anyway, back to what we were doing. You should see my setup for this phone too. It's pretty funny. Literally just using the battery box. Okay. So then we take our barrel connectors and black to black. Oh, I need my crimpers. We do black to black. Good crimp on that. All right. Now, see? And it came apart immediately because there's a tiny little hole. I'm telling you, that's why you always want to pull on your wires. Don't just think the crimp is good, because crimp might not be good. So now we start over. twist, give her a shove. I cut that one to length, so I didn't really have to cut the tip off. So, and give it a crimp. All right, let's try this again. And this time I'm going to use the other part of the crimper because I think that the way this wire is, it's going to need a dual crimp. And what I mean by that is one crimp to hold it in place and one crimp to get the wire to actually be seated. Yeah, so dual crimp. So I'll show you that here in a second, what I'm doing. And this the same way. Gotta turn the wire around so I can get to it. It does not want to cooperate. Come this way. In the hole, in the hole, in the hole. You're not a teenager. You can get in the hole. Okay. It's a lot easier if you start with the crimpers on your connector. Crimp, squeeze. That's in there. Okay. Coming back. So, what I did was there's two parts of this crimper. There's the top part, which is for I believe non-insulated, and then there's the bottom part, which is for insulated. So a double crimp means you put both on them. So on this wire, you can, well, if it focuses, hello, focus right there. There we go. You can see that I've put a deep crimp in with the with this tooth to make sure that the wire stays. And then I put a crimp in at the bottom of the wire right there so that it makes good contact. So regardless, this wire is not coming out because it's in there and it's going to make good contact. So I don't have to worry about that. What we do have to worry about, we have to tape this up because as you can see, the insulation is broken. So we're just going to wrap this up with tape, and then we should be done. We'll see if the light works. Oh, and this is my setup, by the way. I literally just lean my phone up right here against the box on the edge, and then I can see the screen off to the side and tell if I'm pointed in the right direction with the phone leaned up against the box, and it holds itself because it's sitting on the... So, look good? Oh, yeah, that was good. All right. So, wire, battery. Am I missing it? What? I set my black tape down somewhere and I don't know where I set it. So I got all my colors right here. Huh. Well, if I was doing it right here, then I did there. I don't know. Honestly, it doesn't matter what color electrical tape you use. So I'm just going to use white because it's available right now. Actually, I'm going to use red because it's the color of the bike. So these blue connectors won't stand out as much. Because if you haven't figured it out, this whole bike theme is red and black. So, oh, another thing to note, the best way to keep these steady is you just throw a zip tie around them. That way if anybody pulls on one wire and like pulls it one way, doesn't pull at the other. Like, they don't separate, which can cause all kinds of problems. So, now that we have our wires, I'm just gonna start giving her a little bit of electrical tape. This isn't electrical tape. It's cheap Chinese knockoff electrical tape. I have absolutely zero faith that this does anything because it feels like masking tape. But what I bought it for wasn't to actually wrap wires and stuff like this. It was for marking wires and their locations. So whenever I do the turn signals and everything like that, I have a bunch of different colors that I'm going to use so that I know which wire goes to which connector, because they're all the same color wire, and that makes for a really bad time if you've ever tried to troubleshoot anything. So yeah, so there we go. That's absolutely awful, but it's going to do because we're not going to be pulling on this wire. It's got plenty of slack, and it's just going to be tucked right up under this little frame. Wasn't meant for this many wires. This is actually supposed to go on this side. It's gonna have to be redone. It's fine, but whatever. Okay, so got to zip tie our wires back to the frame like we had them. Is that big enough? Yeah, it's big enough. It looks god awful. This is not the finished product, please, by any means, but it is going to be a working product. So before we shut it up, let's give it a test. All right, and this is going to be loud. Oh, I gotta turn it on. Duh. So there you go. We now have running lights. So for the time being, I'm just gonna zip tie this to the frame and just make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And then we'll come back later and I'm gonna cut everything back up under the seat. So everything is gonna be back in this quarter panel and you're not gonna see anything. And I have wire to run all of this stuff properly. This is just really to get the running lights going. I just wanted something that wasn't gonna take too much time or effort. So, but there you go. If you wanted to add a running light to your already existing system, you could. If you wanted to add brake lights, you could, but at idle, it's going to drop the battery, it's going to drop your voltage so low that it's not going to matter. So it's really better to have the battery. Like, I could probably get away because these are LEDs, but my new headlight is a, oh no, I do have an LED replacement for the halogen that's in it. Yeah, so everything's going to be LEDs, but it's still just, it's a lot of power for a little, you know, regulator like that to handle. I don't know if you could burn out your regulator doing this. We will shortly find out. And yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do. There we go. Can't wait to get this stuff up though. Actually use the switches. Oh yeah, I didn't show the switches. So, here's the switches. I got these off Amazon. no, eBay. I got these off eBay. So you got your lights and your start. I don't have the electric start. They do sell that in a kit. I might get that later. But your turn signals, brights, and a horn, and then your kill switch. And then, so to finish it off, got a set of these. And what these are they're brake light switches. And what they do is they go, let's see if I can do this with one hand, right up here. And when you pull the brake, that lever moves. And so what happens is this switch sits right there and it pushes against the lever. So this is the next project, is getting these installed so that I can actually install the rest of the system. Because without brake lights, I mean, turn signals and all that other stuff doesn't really matter. So, but yeah, there you go. She's well, at least you can see her at night now from the back. Oh, and the reason it's so loud is because of that. And yes, I know it's pointed forwards, and the whole reason it's pointed forwards is because where did I had a seat somewhere. Oh, there it is. You see that? When I pointed it backwards, it burnt the seat. So until I get a better exhaust, she gonna be pointing forward. And honestly, it's not that bad. It doesn't hit my leg or anything, so, you know, but I just didn't want to melt this anymore because, ugh. Anyway. All right. That's about it for the plans I have for this, so later.